Hello again. This is Panther Creek Produce again. We finally got all them onions planted that my son was showing y'all yesterday, day before yesterday. Yesterday, after about 3 trips to the local hardware store, we finally got our lay flat hose put in for our drip system that we have on these onions. And today we are giving them a little bit of fertilizer to help with the transplant shock. Some people that use this drip tape, like we do, suggest that you run your fertilizer out prior to planting your vegetables. It helps with the transplant shock on them. But now, this here is the first time we planted onions on plastic. We had seen on Wishwell Farms, they planted theirs on plastic and it helps with weed control. And here we have plenty of weeds. And the biggest issue is the nut grass, which the nut grass will still grow up through the plastic, but it's not as bad as if there wasn't nothing there. Now, on to the drip tape. If you're using drip tape, whether you have it, your drip system in your flower bed, around your house, or if you're using it commercially, there's one thing you always want to make sure that you do have, and that is a backflow preventer. Whether you are using municipal water source or you are using a well, because you never know when something might happen and cause back siphoning, and when that happens you have contaminated your water source, and you don't want that. And these little, for these like this here, the residential type, they're not expensive and they can save you a lot of headache. And this little injector that we have here comes from Hoss tubes. They also are sold in other places. Other companies have them. We generally like using Greg, which is Hoss tubes over in Georgia. Every time we've had an issue with anything that we've ever got, which is far and few between, it doesn't take nothing but an email or a phone call, and they make it right. They take care of their customers. The fertilizer that we're using for this, because this is all we got, is a 20/20 water soluble fertilizer. And watching Browen's Farms, I had learned from him that if you put warm water in your mixing bowl, that in your mixing container, that the fertilizer melts a lot better, which it does. And on these injectors, it's best to have them full of water and fertilizer solution, because if you don't, it takes a while for it to get the air, I guess you could say, push the air out. You have to leave your cap loose. To me, it's just easier to let it fill it up till your fertilizer starts to come out the top, and then tighten your cap down and attach your hoses. We're going to let this fill up, and then we'll be right back in a minute. Okay, we are back. This thing is almost full. Also on these injectors, whenever you go to hook them back up, you see this, there's a little black O-ring in there. You need to make sure your O-ring is in place, because if it's not in there, this thing will not quite work the way it's supposed to. We let the water come out of the fertilizer injector, the bubbles come out, we reapply the cap. The injector part itself is marked for the in and the out. And that's one reason why you got a dark colored hose and a light colored hose. Dark colored hose goes in, so you want to be able to see your fertilizer in your clear hose to make sure it's doing its thing. And that concentration is not real strong, so it's barely blue. The camera may not pick it up, but if you have it a stronger concentration, so the color in the fertilizer is got a lot more blue dye that's in it, it shows up real good, and that way you know what your fertilizer runs out or not. Also on these little old fertilizers injectors, they have a setting. If you see, there's slow, 1, 2, and fast. What it does, the way these work from what I've been able to read about, on fast setting, on the little chart that you can pull up, it's X number of gallons till it's empty, and it gives you an idea. If you know what your drip rate is on your emitters, you can figure up, okay, it'll take 2 hours to empty this, or it'll take 3 hours for the amount of gallons of water that goes through your system. And it also pulls it out of here. And yesterday, like I said, after about 3 trips to the hardware store, we got our lay flat done. On the end down here, we have a plug so we can drain the hose at night, because it has been dipping below freezing here. And anybody that does one of these things, because this tape has the emitters, pull this out, see if I can get it where you can see it. I don't know if you can see it in this sun. There's a little hole right there in those emitters, and they drip. You can get different rates. This here is a 0.49 per 100 feet. I can't remember if it's on a minute or for an hour. I have to look at the thing, because we got some different type out here. Also, if you're going to use this, it's advised to get one of those. It's a filter, because all of your fertilizer does not dissolve. There may be a little bit in there that's left behind, or you may have some residue in your injector, and that will stop up that little bitty hole. Then you don't have no water coming out for your plants. On ours, this here is our first planting for, it's planted in 2024, December the 3rd, I think, when we planted these. They will actually be harvested in the spring and sold at our local farmers market. And that is about it for today. And thank y'all for watching. Come back to see us. Bye now.